performance. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we are live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Yes, Hulk Hogan in 40 minutes from now. You know I love Russell Wilson. You know I'm from the Pacific Northwest. You know he comes on the show. Last night was a real treat for me. And it got me thinking driving to work this morning, when you put in a certain number of hours doing something, it becomes part of you. You see somebody with a skateboard at 18 years old, and you're like, God, they're magical on that thing. But they've been doing it since they were 5. So 13 years of living and sleeping with that skateboard at night. I went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and I watched a 31-year-old magician named Matt Franco. He's doing it since he's 6. 24 years of card tricks. You could not separate his hand from cards. He was so comfortable. There was no panic or no stress. Russell Wilson was allowed as a little guy to be a quarterback in high school. And so for 2 years of high school and 4 years of college and now 8 years of the NFL, it is 14 years of playing one style of football. He's never had to change for anybody because he was always small, and he's still small. And he's got his style, and this is how he plays, and it is magical. With Michael Vick, I had running Michael and pocket Michael. And Lamar Jackson, I've got running Lamar and pocket Lamar. And with Russell Wilson, I can't separate it. I can't separate it. It's just the way he plays. It's the 17-year-old. You can't separate his foot from the skateboard. The magician, you can't separate the hand from the deck of cards. It's part of them. Russell's style, there isn't running Russell and pocket Russell. This is it. Even in the pocket, he's moving and crazy and clever and crafty. Here's one of his specialties last night.
On first down, Wilson keeps. Surveys, nowhere to go, and back in the end zone. Touchdown! What a catch by Tyler Lockett. Catch, feet, that is unbelievable.
On the run, running to his wrong side. When you've been doing something for so long, Russell Wilson once told me as a kid growing up, he would go to malls and run at the crowd and bob and weave through the crowd. 5 years old, 6 years old, that's what he's doing. A lot of quarterbacks have to change their style, or they grow and they evolve. He's just been refining this for 14 years. Because even in high school, he was the smallest guy, and the coaches said he's too small to be a quarterback. And then he goes to college, and they're like, he's 5'11", he's too small to be a quarterback. And then he drops in the 3rd round, he's too small to be a quarterback. For 14 straight years, he's been sandpapering this gift, this style, and it hasn't changed for anybody. It didn't change for his high school coach. It didn't change for his 2 college coaches. It's not changing for Pete Carroll. This is magic. And it really did remind me, 3 weeks ago, I took my son to a magic trick. Matt Franco, he's a great magician. He's a card master. And he sat in front of us, and cards just appeared out of his hands. Rolled his sleeves up, and he said, no cards. And then for 7 minutes, 12 decks appeared in and out of his hands. You've got to be doing that for 25 years. You go to bed with cards. There are running quarterbacks. I don't even classify Russell Wilson as a running quarterback. It's just that's his style. That's what he is. I don't know what you call that. But even in his pocket, he's dancing and he's moving. And he's finding space and he's finding lanes because he's smaller. It's the most unique thing I've ever seen. Steve Young's the only one I can even compare it to. But all these people, the Johnny Manziels and the Michael Vicks we consider running quarterbacks, no. They would go back to pass and sometimes run. This is just one style. I can't separate it. And when people are truly great at something, they never stress or they never panic because they have so many hours doing it. Steph Curry and the ball, he never looks at it. It's just part of it. Michael Jordan I used to watch Michael Jordan and think, God, there's 75 guys in the NBA that are 6'6". They're all kind of built like Michael. He's not the only one that could jump. Dominique Wilkins could jump higher. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the biggest. Why does it look so effortless? Why can't every 6'6" guy shoot a fall-away jumper like that? He wasn't the best dribbler. He wasn't the highest jumper. But it was effortless for Michael. And you watch and you're like, why is it? I watched Russell last night and I'm like, why is it? It's just, he never gets hit. He never panics. He never stresses. He slides perfectly. His self-awareness is amazing. And I guess they used to call it, Malcolm Gladwell wrote the book, the 10,000-hour rule. I think this is the 14-year rule with quarterbacks. That this kid, Russell Wilson, has been doing this for 14 years. He has perfected it. When the Rams gave up 55 points to Jameis Winston, you hang your head. I think last night you give up 30 to Russell, and you're like, well, we did the best we could. I think there are people inside that room that think, hey, we went from 55 to Jameis to 30 to Russell. What a night for us. Because I don't think you can solve this riddle. I don't think you can solve Russell. I don't think you can coach against it. I watched that game last night with former Jets and Browns head coach and Patriot defensive coordinator Eric Mangini. And he watched it, and on multiple times he laughed. He's like, this is just a nightmare. Because Eric's a defensive coach. He goes, this is awful. You can't defend this stuff. There's nothing you can do. And he kept going to his phone, and he'd say, look at the night he's having. Look at the night he's having. Look at the night he's having. That was a showcase. That was a great magician. That was something you're not, and that may have been as good as he ever played. Incredible. So I want to shift gears to the LA Rams because all I've been hearing now, Jared Goff is really holding this team back. I mean, they're great, but if they could get the right quarterback, Jared Goff's fine. In fact, last night, he's the only thing I absolutely loved. Didn't love all their coaching, couldn't run the football. I got questions about the back end of their defense. Goff's the thing I like. Here's the thing. There is a big difference between coddling a quarterback. Mason Rudolph, Monday Night Football. Mitch Trubisky and Kirk Cousins only throw 10 times. That is babysitting a quarterback. There's a difference between that and, once again, last night, asking Jared Goff to throw 50 times. That ain't coddling. There's a difference between coddling my kids, don't do this, don't do that, and then saying, guys, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. Just make sure the house doesn't burn down. That ain't coddling. Folks, he's caring. He's not coddling. Their defense has issues on the back end. Didn't love all their coaching. Special teams missed a kick they should make. They have no running game at all. Todd Gurley, 15 carries, 51 yards. In fact, they ran last night for 82 yards, a third of it on one play, a trick end around to Brandon Cooks. Their offensive line is old, very low graded on pass blocking. Once again, we're blaming the wrong person. Jared Goff, at the end of that game, was excellent. He was Tom Brady, cool, calm, and collected. With a pass rush, an eroding offensive line, no running game. I thought he was excellent. I thought he looked like Brady in a playoff game. Totally under control. Never stressed or panicked. So you keep thinking Goff's the problem. He's the one thing I like going forward. I like their receiving core, and I like Goff, and I like how they're conjoined. And after the game, I mean, again, a lot of people are freaking out this morning. The Rams are 3-2. The reason I think they're okay, I looked at their next 8 games. It's not the O-line. It's not the run game. It's not Marcus Peters blowing another coverage. It's Jared Goff. Here's him after the game.
We've been 3-2 before and made the playoffs 2 years ago. And if I remember correctly, the Patriots were 3-2 last year and won the Super Bowl. And so there's a lot of game left. We've got a really good group in there. And yeah, we're going to bounce back. We're fine. Obviously you don't want to lose 2 in a row at any point, but we got another big Division I next week, so we got no time to waste.
They've asked him to throw the ball 117 times in 2 weeks. By the way, the Rams are 25-3. 25-3 when they've simply asked Goff to throw it less than 40 times. And a lot of those are 36. That's not coddling. That's not protecting. That's not babysitting. Mason Rudolph, Monday Night Football's babysitting. Mitch Trubisky's babysitting. Kirk Cousins, they win 10 throws. That's babysitting. That fourth quarter drive with 2 minutes left, that ain't babysitting. That's Brady. That's a veteran quarterback marching down the field. That's Brady. That's Breeze. That's a guy that's been around a long time, rolling out, making plays, more athletic than you think, cool, calm, noisiest stadium outside of New Orleans in the National Football League. Pete Carroll's one of the best defensive coaches outside of Belichick in the NFL, and you're telling me that's the liability? I'm showing you that's the liability? That's the strength. That I trust. His dad played Major League Baseball. He's way more of an athlete that everybody contests. Keep hearing he's not an athlete. You keep telling me Baker Mayfield's an athlete. He runs a 4.8 40. Jared Goff's dad played in Major League Baseball. That's an athlete. He made 2 really athletic throws last night down the stretch. All right, coming up next, Hulk Hogan's in about 20 minutes from now. That'll be fun. And coming up next, you eventually, I don't want to hear about your talent because I think most pro athletes are talented. And I keep hearing about one guy's talent, Aaron Rodgers. You know what I want now? Stop telling me about your talent. I'm going to throw some numbers at you about Aaron Rodgers and why I'm tired, like Jason Garrett this week telling me how great he is. Okay, I want to hear about how great an actor is. Does anybody go watch your movies? If not, you're overpaid. That's coming up. Plus Blazing 5 in 45 minutes. 72% this year. Absurdly hot. It can't last. There's a lot of underwear brands out there. Yep, 75% of men and women are dissatisfied with their underwear. My hunch, haven't tried Tommy John. Revolutionary brand, upgraded over 1 million lives. They've sold over 7 million pairs. 96% of their customer ratings, 4 stars or greater. That's incredible, right? 750 products online. I like the loungewear myself. That's the best at night, sitting around watching games. Also, guys, something for your ladies. 2 years in the works. Now the most comfortable bras on the planet. Over the course of time of this company, they've added 1,200 retail locations, including Nordstrom stores nationwide. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. I love it, and I wear it. TommyJohn.com right now. Promo code is HERD, HERD. 20% off your first order. TommyJohn.com, code HERD. Buy it now, wear it now.